talk about the dynamic that's happening between a client and the therapist always. I always tell clients there's 4 dynamics happening in the room at all times. And bear with me, it might sound a little interesting. I draw this often for clients to find it helpful. Okay, so I literally drew stick figures because I'm an artist. No, but seriously, I drew stick figures so you can do this with your clients. Let me just explain something to you. Okay, here I'm just going to define therapist with a T and C with a client. Okay. What's always happening between a therapist and a client, here is the therapist, okay? So there's a dynamic happening between the therapist and the client. The therapist is getting to know the client, and the client is getting to know the therapist. I always say, we're getting to develop trust, and we're getting to know each other from the very beginning, okay? So there's always a dynamic between I'm an adult, I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me. What's also happening is that the therapist is getting to know the client and the client's inner child parts, okay? So it's like I'm developing a relationship with you. I'm also getting to develop a relationship with your inner child parts. You might have not just inner child. You might have a part of you that's mistrustful. You might have a part of you that was abused. And you might have a part of you that's really hungry for a mommy, okay? And there might be different parts, right? Different people have different parts. One person might come in as an adult, the client, and they might have a very angry part that's like, I don't think you can help me, right? Mistrustful. And so as the client comes in, I might say like, wow, it seems like there is a very strong part of you or emotion in the room that has come along, and it's a part of you that's very mistrustful, right? And it's almost like mistrusting me. I might not be able to be helpful to you, right? So that's just understanding that there's parts of the client that come into the room. Now, when we're working with clients who are very dissociative or who have complex attachment dynamics, a lot of times what we'll see is that there's different parts of the clients at play in the room with us. Now, what else is happening? So the therapist is getting to know the client is getting to know the therapist. The client is getting to know the therapist is getting to know the client's inner parts. The inner parts are getting to know the therapist. And the client is getting to know its internal system. And the internal system is getting to know the client, right? So basically, like part of psychotherapy is that we're helping our clients develop a relationship with their inner world, right? A client might say, I'm getting to know my inner child or my inner child parts. Now, what also is happening is that the parts are getting to know each other. What does that mean? A client might have parts that are wanting help for I'm just going to give you a simplified version. My client might have a parts that want to come into therapy and develop a relationship with the therapist and get to know the adult client. And there might be parts of the client that are very resentful, mistrusting, or hold a lot of trauma memories that are dissociated, right? We might have parts of the client that are very hopeful or, wanting to connect with the therapist, and there might be other parts that are like, I don't want to be here. Now, it might be a little bit more complicated. We might have clients that have more simple systems or complicated systems. So what we might sometimes have is like a client says, it's so weird because like I heard about therapy and I'm excited to be here, and it's almost like I look forward to coming. But there's other parts of me that are very hesitant or worried that you're going to hurt me the same way my past therapist hurt me. Right? Well, I just want to change the lighting, right? So I just normalizing, I always say there's a lot of dynamics happening. You're getting to know, I'm getting to know you, you're getting to know me. We're getting to know each other, right? I have to build trust with you. You have to see if you feel comfortable with me. Then it's, I'm getting to know the parts, right? Or whatever emotions or memories or a part of you. You don't have to make it all psychological, but I could just say like, wow, it seems like a part of you really wants to heal, or it seems like a part of you really wants a lot from me, right? Or there might be a part of you that's completely disinterested in me and you just want to get something out of therapy. So I'm just like a tool, right? So you get to know your client's system in terms of how they interact. Are they very clingy? Are they very avoidant? Are they dismissive? Are they disorganized? Sometimes feeling very connected, wanting a lot from you. Sometimes just saying like you're useless, right? That depends on the client's dynamic. But I always say, so it's me getting to know you, you're getting to know me, I'm getting to know your system and the parts inside are getting to know me. You're getting to know your inner world, your inner parts. Your parts are getting to know you. And then also your parts are getting to know each other, right? So it says here, like the therapist is getting to know parts. So why is this? Now also there's another piece, obviously. The therapist has parts as well, right? If I have inner child parts, I have to keep my inner child parts in check. So it's not like my inner child and my client's inner child are getting to know each other, right? Because we need to be in our adult therapist self when we're interacting with a client. But why do I show this to a client? Because I want a client to understand that it's going to take time and there's dynamics at play. A client might start trusting me a lot and suddenly the next session, maybe we're working together 6 months or a year, and then they're acting all mistrustful or very